Welcome to a new episode of In Corto d'arte. Are you ready to know what we'll explore this week? Let's find out together. So, have you guessed today's topic? We are going to talk about shadows. Do you know what a shadow is? In particular, do you know how artists use it? A shadow is a dark area projected by a body or an object. In fact, when a body or the object doesn't allow light to go through it, he creates a shadow. Shadows can be scary. In fact, in some movies and cartoons, we can see them hiding something sinister or evil. Some other times, we can see a pair of bright eyes coming from a dark figures in the shadows. However, as Peter Pan has shown us, a shadow is our own extension, is a part of us that always follows us and always changes depending on how bright the light is. It is this ability of shadows to change that enables them to define forms and places and determine how we see them. For example, if I pointed this torch under my chin, it will create long and dark shadows on my face, which will make it scary and dark. But if I keep the torch far from me, you will see that my face has changed, making it lighter and reassuring. In drawing and painting, the correct representation of shadows is fundamental to get a realistic effect. Figures with a flat coloration without any shadow will lack volume. Look at this image and how it changed if we had shadows. Shadows help artists to create pathos and have a dramatic effect. For example, the Italian artist Caravaggio used light and shadows to create painting with a theatrical effect. However, it is in contemporary art that shadows have diverse meaning and uses. Let's have a look at some of them together. London-based artists Tim Noble and Sue Webster use shadow in a very creative way. They use old objects, rubbish and scrap metal to create sculptures. This might seem quite meaningless at first, but when lighted, they project clear and recognizable shapes. The artists, by positioning very carefully all the objects, create a sculpture made out of shadows. The artwork Dirty White Trash with Gulls is made out of all the rubbish that the two artists consumed during the 6 months in which they made the sculpture. The piles consist of what the artist needed to survive on while completing the artwork. A torch projects the shadow of the strange collection onto the walls, revealing the shape of the two artists, backs against each other, one holding a glass of wine and the other a cigarette. So this collection of rubbish and objects shows the self-portrait of the artists, representing the idea that all of the things that we use become part of ourselves. We are what we consume. Ólafur Elíasson is a Danish-Icelandic artist who worked with the environment, atmospheric phenomena and the effects of light. In the artwork called Your Uncertain Shadows Color, He plays with light and the effects that he creates. He positioned 5 colored spotlights onto a white wall. Here, the colors blend, creating a pure white light. If you know a little about the theory of light and color, you will know that by mixing blue, red and green light, you will create a pure white light. When a visitor enters the space in front of the spotlights, their shadows appears, revealing all the colors that are part of the white light. The last artist for today is the Italian photographer Mimmo Jodice. His work is based on the relationship between the camera and time. In fact, he creates a sort of time machine as he tries to capture places and people from a distant past. Roman and Greek art is the main subject of his photographs. Jodice captured classical sculptures on film by giving them a new life by carefully using light and shadows. In black and white, Jodice's pictures show faces coming out from the dark, making them mysterious and ambiguous. The use of shadows is extremely important in the photographer's work. For him, it is the use of shadow and light that gives his images a sense of movement. The shadows seems to amplify the sculptures, showing them as if they were living in the present, but also taking us back in time with them. So we have seen together how artists use shadows to give life to objects and create new artworks. Shall we try and create together our artwork made of shadows? This is what you need: a shoebox, tracing paper, also plain white printer paper should work as well, a torch, or you can use the one on a smartphone, some recycled objects such as bottle caps, small boxes, the cardboard inner from kitchen rolls, etc. Small objects such as toys or souvenirs, scissors, tape, and of course, don't forget your creativity. Let's see how Claudio has used these materials to create his sculptures of shadow. Firstly, cut a small rectangle on the larger side of your box. This has to be smaller than your piece of tracing paper. Now we can tape the tracing paper to cover the rectangle that we made. To give it a nicer look, tape the paper from inside the box. Now we are ready to create our sculptures of shadows. Point the torch onto the box and turn off the light. Now use all the objects that you collected to create your sculpture. You can pile them up, place them in a line, create different patterns. Once you're happy with the result, take a picture of your sculpture and try some other compositions. You can also create the sculptures without a shoebox by using a white wall like Tim Noble and Sue Webster. These are the sculptures that I created. I decided to use the white wall instead of the shoebox. And you? What does your shadow sculpture look like? Don't forget that you can share your picture with us via social media or via email. As always, all the details are in the description box below. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you liked the video and to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our next videos. See you in the next episode of In Corto d'arte. Bye!